Hello students, welcome to our second part of the class, that is the transport in plants part 2. In our earlier class we have discussed about the conducting tissues that helps in the transportation in plants. So whenever we are talking about the transportation in plant, as I said, we need two things to be transported in plants. What are the two things? The mineral water and the prepared food. But you cannot use the term transportation for both mineral water and food. Rather, whenever you are using for mineral water, you use the term transportation, and whenever we are using the term for conduction of food, you use the term translocation. So we can say plants undergo transportation of mineral and water and translocation of food. So, do you know students, when plant undergo photosynthesis, it prepares its food in the form of glucose, and it stores the glucose in the form of starch. But whenever it is translocating the food, it converts the starch into sucrose, then it is translocating all over the plant. So we can define translocation as it is a process in which the prepared food transfer in the form of sucrose through phloem throughout the plant. So what is translocation? Translocation is the transfer of food in the form of sucrose through phloem throughout the plant. So always use the term transportation for the transfer of mineral and water, and use the term translocation for the transfer of or for the conduction of what? Food. Okay. So now in this chapter, need not to talk about translocation, because here only we are talking about the transportation. About translocation later on we will read in other chapter. So here only we will go with transportation. So as I said, transportation means the conduction of mineral and water in the plant. Okay, so what thing in plant acts as a medium for transportation? Roots. Root only, whenever root will absorb the mineral water, then only transportation takes place in plants. So at first we will see the structure of root. So it is very simple. When we are talking about the structure of root, it has a main primary root. You can see in the middle. This is the main primary root, and by the side of the primary root it has lateral roots, or else we can also call it as secondary roots. So the main root is the primary root and the lateral roots are the secondary roots, and all the secondary roots they bear root hairs, and actually absorption takes place by root hairs. Then only these root hairs transfer the absorbed mineral into the lateral root, and the lateral root transferred it into the main root, then to the xylem, and phloem to the leaf. So if we will see a single structure of a root hair, then somehow it looks like this. It has a cell wall. The outer wall is known as the cell wall. After the cell wall it has the cell membrane. Inside it has cytoplasm, which contains different cell organelles with a prominent nucleus. This is a structure of a root hair. Okay, here we are talking about a single root hair. What I said, root hair acts as a medium for the absorption of water. Then only it sends the absorbed water to the lateral roots, then to the main root. Okay, so if you will see the structure of a single root hair, then somehow it looks like this. The outer layer is known as the cell wall. After the cell wall, it has the cell membrane. Inside it has a cytoplasm which contains different organelles and a prominent nucleus. So this is the structure of a single root hair. Now I will tell you some significant feature of the root hair. There are three significant features of the root hair. At first, root hair has large surface area, and this large surface area helps it to absorb more. Okay, remember root hairs have large surface area which helps them to absorb more. Okay. The second characteristics is it has a unique feature which is cell wall and cell membrane. What is the unique feature? The cell wall is freely permeable and the cell membrane is semi-permeable. So now you might be thinking what is freely permeable and what is semi-permeable. Suppose an example, this. Okay, this is a thing which we are using to separate the tea leaf and the liquid tea. So what is this? What the net is used for? To separate the larger particle so that it will allow only the liquid part. This is a semi-permeable membrane. Permeability means what? What is permeable? Permeable means to allow. So freely permeable means it will allow all the things to pass. Semi-permeable means it will allow only some particles to pass and it will restrict some particle. So the cell wall allows all the particles to pass, but the cell membrane restricts some particles and only allow the water particles to pass through. So this is the second unique feature of root hair. What is that? Cell wall is freely permeable, but cell membrane is semi-permeable in nature. And the third unique property I will tell you after discussing this. Remember, at the last I will tell you the third unique property. After discussion of this topic, I will tell you the third unique property. So again, I am repeating. Root hair has an outer layer, that is the cell wall. After the cell wall, it has the cell membrane. Inside the cell, it has cytoplasm with a prominent nucleus. It provides a large surface area which helps in the absorption. And it also has a freely permeable cell wall and a semi-permeable cell membrane. Okay. So here we are talking about permeability. It will allow. So what it will allow? So when it will absorb, it may absorb two things, water and minerals. Okay, so root hairs will absorb two things from the soil. What? Water and dissolved mineral. So cell wall allow both water and dissolved mineral, but the dissolved minerals are restricted in between the cell wall because cell membrane are semi-permeable. So they will allow only water and restrict the movement of dissolved mineral. Okay, now come to this topic. Before starting this topic, let me show you something. Here I have taken two glasses. Okay, you can see this is a glass with water and this is a glass with sugar in it. Okay, we can mix the sugar. Okay, so you can see sugar down. This is a glass with only water and this is a sugar water. Okay, two glasses I have taken. Suppose now if I will ask, tell me in which glass more amount of water molecules are there? Obviously this. Okay. Tell me in which glass more amount of sugar particles are there? Obviously this. Understood? Means we can say that in this glass the concentration of water is more and in this glass the concentration of sugar particle is more. This is known as concentration. Concentration means the amount. If I am just giving an example, then I will go to the next topic. Okay, this is a normal water and this is sugar water. We can say this is a glass with high concentration of water. This is a glass with high concentration of sugar because it has dissolved sugar in it which takes the place of water. Okay, now come to this. The same here we have taken two solutions, solution A and solution B. So in solution A, what happens? Only water molecules are present. Okay, here down I have written see more water molecules. But in solution B, more amount of sugar molecules are present. As I have taken the glass for you, 1 glass of water and 1 glass of what? Sugar solution. So here you can see water particles are moving towards the sugar solution. You can see in between there is a membrane. Okay, this is a semi-permeable membrane. Already we have discussed about the semi-permeable membrane. What this semi-permeable membrane will do? It will restrict the movement of sugar. Rather, it will allow the movement of water. Okay, so here when we will allow a normal water and a sugar solution and we will allow a semi-permeable membrane in between, the water particle will move towards the sugar solution, and after some times we can see that the amount of water particle will increase in the sugar solution. So what we can conclude from this? Always movement takes place from higher concentration to lower concentration. Okay, movement always takes place from higher concentration to lower concentration. Means, what is the higher concentration here? Water. What is the higher concentration here? Sugar. So, as we are using here a semi-permeable membrane, it will not allow the large particle. It will only allow the small particles. That's why sugar is not moving this side. Only water particles are moving to solution B. As water particles are small in size, they will move from solution A to solution B, and after some times we can see that solution B contains little more amount of water as earlier. So this is the thing that I want to tell you, that whenever there is a concentration difference, what is concentration difference? One will be with higher concentration, one will be with lower concentration. Then always the movement takes place. When we will separate it with semi-permeable membrane, always the movement takes place from higher concentration to lower concentration. Means, from where the amount is more to from where the amount is less. Okay. See, this is little expanded structure of root. Here, this is the root here. Below the root here, we can find the epidermis. This is the epidermal cell, and after the epidermis, we got the cortex, and then xylem and phloem. I think you will not get this diagram in your book, but it is a very simple diagram and very easy for you to understand also. This is the root here. This root here, after the first layer of the root here is the epidermis, and then it has cortex, then xylem and phloem. So at first, absorption takes place only in the root hair. As I said, root hair is only absorbing the mineral water at first. Then only it is sending towards the xylem and phloem. So here you can see I have done two types of points. Means one blue and one green. This blue dots I have done for water particles, and the green dots I have done for mineral particles. So whenever absorption will take place, as plants need both mineral and water, so both mineral and water will be absorbed. So what happened? As the cell wall, this is the cell wall. Okay, here we have done. Okay, this is the cell wall. As cell wall is freely permeable, it will allow both the water particle and mineral to pass. But here the mineral particles will get restricted before it enter into the cell membrane. Cell membrane only allowed to pass the water particle. So cell membrane, here the mineral particles will be there in the cell wall, and water molecules will get enter into the cell membrane. So here it comes another term. What? Osmosis. Okay. What is osmosis? Movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Here, do not forget this movement of water. So we can use the term osmosis for the absorption of water. Movement of water. See, there is less amount of water inside the root here and more amount of water outside the root here. So where the concentration is more? Here the concentration of water is more and here the concentration of water is less. As I said, always movement occurs from higher concentration to lower concentration. So here water moves from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. What acts as a semi-permeable membrane? The root hair. Root hair will act as a semi-permeable membrane. Same you relate this with this. Movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. The same. Movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Here the cell membrane of root hair will act as a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, so we can define osmosis as movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. So we can say water is absorbed into the root by the process of osmosis. Okay, but what about the minerals? Minerals get absorbed by the process of diffusion. So what is diffusion? The movement of solid, liquid or gas from higher concentration to lower concentration. Remember this, solid, liquid or gas. Here I have underlined only water. Osmosis takes place only for water, but diffusion takes place for solid, liquid and gas. So when absorption takes place by cell wall, the cell membrane will only allow water and undergo osmosis, but the cell wall will allow the minerals and undergo diffusion. This cell wall will send the mineral to the cell and the cell membrane will send the water molecule to the cell. So here we are using two terms, osmosis and diffusion. Again I am telling, osmosis is the movement of water from its higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Diffusion is the movement of solid, liquid or gas from its higher concentration to lower concentration. Remember, in diffusion, no need of semi-permeable membrane. But in osmosis, there is a need of semi-permeable membrane. Okay? So, this is the two terms, osmosis and diffusion we are using. Osmosis we can use for the movement of water and diffusion we can use for the movement of minerals. Okay? Here another term I have written, active transport. What is active transport? Active transport means the movement of solid or liquid. Remember here, the movement of solid or liquid from lower concentration to higher concentration by utilizing energy. From lower concentration to higher concentration by utilizing energy. So remember the three terms. Osmosis is the movement of water from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. Diffusion is the movement of solid, liquid or gas from higher concentration to lower concentration, but no need of semi-permeable membrane. Active transport is the movement of solid or liquid from lower concentration to higher concentration by utilizing some energy. Remember this term. Here in both the term we are using higher concentration, but for active transport it is from lower concentration to higher concentration, and obviously it will use some energy when it will move from lower concentration to higher concentration. So whenever we are talking about the movement of water, then we can use the term osmosis, because osmosis is only for water. And whenever we are talking for the movement of mineral salt, then we can use the term diffusion, or else we can use the term active transport, because active transport is also for solid or liquid, and diffusion is also for solid, liquid or gas. Okay, so do not get confused. First you understand these three terms. It is very important. Be attentive. If not understood, again see the video. Diffusion, osmosis and active transport. Okay, these three terms are related to this. How root hair absorbs mineral and water. And remember, it will not absorb mineral and water with the same time. It absorbs water differently and mineral and salt differently, because the cell wall is freely permeable and the cell membrane is semi-permeable. Cell membrane will not allow the mineral salt. It will only allow the water molecule to pass. That's why osmosis takes place and absorption of water takes place by cell membrane, and it allows the water to pass. And diffusion and active transport takes place whenever there is a absorption of mineral and salt by the cell wall of the root hair. So this is our today's topic. Whatever we have discussed, please again go through the video. What are the things we have discussed about the structure of root? We have also discussed about the single root hair. Here we have discussed about the concentration difference. What is concentration difference? When there is two solution, one with higher concentration and another with lower concentration. So movement always occurs from higher concentration to lower concentration through a semi-permeable membrane. And this term is used here when root hair absorbs water. Okay, root hair absorbs water by the process of osmosis, diffusion and active transport. You can also note it down, and also you can do the diagrams while making the notes. Okay, so osmosis is for the absorption of water, diffusion is for the absorption of solid, liquid and gas, and active transport is for the solid and liquid. So you can make a fair note for this. You can use these terms in your note, and rest next topic we will discuss.